Hey, everybody, this is Sheriff Tim Carter, and we've been talking about positions that we have available here in the Shenandoah County Sheriff's Office, and one position that we have are the what we call community services deputies and our community service deputies. And I have with me today, I've got Brian Miller. Brian's been in law enforcement. How long, Brian, have you been doing this?
I graduated the academy in 2002.
Yeah, so about, we're looking at 21, 22 years then.
Yes,
yeah.
sir.
And now how long have you been doing the community service stuff?
Almost 2 years. June will be 2 years.
Right. All right. Let's see. Tyler, we've been talking with command staff about these positions that we have available and had a conversation with Brian Miller, and I wanted to talk to you a little bit about community services deputies. So with me today, I have Tyler Jobe. And Tyler, how long have you been in law enforcement now?
About 6 years, Sheriff.
Okay. And how long have you been doing this community services position?
It should be about a year in January.
Okay. A lot of people don't, when we started, you and I had this conversation, we actually started this program. I don't know if you remember or not, but we had done a lot of work internally with this Marcus Alert, a law and legislation that's going on out there, and we were trying to decide, you know, we didn't want to call the staff mental health deputies. So we came up with the idea of the community services deputy.
Yes, sir.
And a lot of what we do, I mean, I guess you want to tell people, I guess most of it is trying to get connected to people before there's a critical incident.
Yes, sir. So, say a deputy will go out and answer a call for service.
Right.
They'll see a need that a person needs, whether it be Department of Social Services, Northwestern Community Services Board, and they'll let us know and say, hey, can you reach out to this person? And usually within the next shift, we go out and visit with them and kind of evaluate the situation and see what their needs are, and then branch out to our resources. Right.
I mean, what we're finding is what it's all about in my mind is that they need somebody to help them get the resources more than anything, and I think they need that relationship and somebody, well, for lack of better words, caring about them.
Yes, sir.
And just reaching out, and that's what you guys have been trying to do, and I appreciate that, and I know they appreciate that also.
Yes, sir.
One of the things I've noticed, I'm not sure what you're noticing, but it seems to me like a lot of what we do is we try to reach out to people before they get in crisis and just providing services to people. I mean, can you tell our listeners basically what your main thing is that you're doing? Or
going out to the community and building that rapport with our individuals that suffer from mental illnesses or critical incidents in the past, providing a relationship with them that they can now trust and talk to us one-on-one on a daily basis, weekly, monthly, just building that rapport. And
one of the things I've noticed here locally is it seems as though, and I hope it's a trend, but it seems as though our critical incident responses with this group population of people, I should say, seem to go down, but our calls are going up. And I'm assuming that's because we're being more proactive and actually going out and meeting with people.
Absolutely.
Now, I know one of the things we've been doing is we've been in some discussion with our community service board people. So the plan is to actually have them, like right now it's just you and Brian. So the plan is to have them go along and be a part of that.
Okay. Yeah, they'll ride with us, and we'll go do our visits, and they get to see us, and they get to build a relationship with the community service board, who was ultimately be providing them with the mental health care if they was to need it, and then they get to meet that face without being in a critical incident.
Now, one of the things that I've noticed, I'm not sure, I noticed from my perspective it's making a difference. Because what I'm seeing is, and maybe it's just hope it's a trend that I'm seeing, but what I have been seeing is I've been seeing less critical incidents that the sheriff's office staff are involved with. I mean, do you see or do you feel like we're making a difference out there with regard to that? Or
Yes, sir, I do. Like I said before, we're getting people connected with resources that they never knew about before, or just couldn't get to. And
right,
so some cases we're bringing the resources to them.
Right.
Rather it be a social worker or CSB worker or whatever the case may be.
Right. And the hope is, I mean, we've had a couple of meetings, just so people that are listening, we've had a couple of meetings with our CSB, our Community Services Board people, and we're hoping that they can start, if they have the staff, they're like everybody else, if they have the staff that can be with us as we're making some of these visits and some of this outreach to people. I'm hoping that starts this year.
Yes, sir. We actually have a meeting with them this month to have. Hopefully, we'll have that in place and have somebody riding with us. Mm-hmm. Maybe even this month if it works out. I
think that's all good stuff.
Yes, sir.
Now, as far as do we? Well, before I leave this point, when I was talking about less critical incidents, I mean we've been analyzing our overtime for critical incidents, and what we've noticed is that we have more calls, more mental health, behavioral health calls, but the critical incidents are requiring less overtime. So I did brief the board of supervisors on that, and that's something that not only I think it's a good thing from a physical standpoint, but I also think it's a good thing from a stress standpoint on staff.
Yes, sir.
So one of the things you guys are doing that I don't think you get a lot of credit for is the pressure that you're taking off of the other staff that are here. So I know they appreciate that, and I do too. You feel like, you feel like you're making a difference out there with what you're doing right now?
I do. It's been the most rewarding thing so far because working patrol, you don't really get to make that difference, or you don't get to see that difference. You go out, you do your job, and then it's on the next one. But when you see somebody from the first time you meet them, and then you go out there and you meet with them and you start seeing their mental health increase in a positive way,
right?
You do get to go home and feel like you made that difference.
Right. Good. I know that I think from our perspective, again, when I think of what it's doing for the staff, working less overtime, going to less critical incidents, that's helpful to the staff, the overall sheriff's office staff stress, I think.
And the morale.
Right.
I mean, patrol, people that are just doing patrol, being able to, put their attention to patrol while mental health is being helped.
Right.
Less people in the hospital sitting in, on TDOs and such.
Right. Right. Yeah. So I think it's a good thing for the client, and it's a good thing for the staff here with the sheriff's office. Now we're also engaged. You guys are engaged with the drug treatment court.
Yes, sir, we are.
So how's that going, and what are you guys part of there?
So we have 4 participants at this time. They are in their 3rd phase, I believe, which means they're maintaining employment. Mm-hmm. They have all been sober. I think one of the young men's been sober 90 days now.
It's good.
Yes, it's excellent. It's been very trying for them.
Right.
We've hit some minor bumps in the road, but they're doing very well. And hopefully they're going to be back to what they once were before, before drugs.
Right. Well, another thing that I want to make sure that our viewers have an understanding of is that even though you and Tyler, again, we spoke to him on another podcast, even though you and he are in these roles as community services deputies, you still have all the requirements, all the training, all of the response as the other patrol staff have.
Yes, sir.
And as we're looking for people in these roles, I think they need to have an understanding that you guys are doing the extra stuff. You're still responding to calls. You're still supporting those activities, but you're doing these other responsibilities, this other stuff that's helpful to the community.
Yes, sir.
If you were going to give someone, someone was looking into a career, could you give any advice on what you've been doing with regard to law enforcement, or this in particular?
Yeah, absolutely. If somebody was looking to join this division that's been in law enforcement for a while, that wanted a change, but not necessarily changing out of patrol, still getting to do their patrol functions, but getting to make a difference, this is a great division to come and join, because you get to go out and do mental health, but you also get to be a full-fledged law enforcement officer at the same time.
Right. Another thing that we talked about was drug treatment court. We're involved in that. Have you had much involvement with that at this point?
I have. Currently, we have 4 participants in a drug court program. Well, we all know that where mental health is, there's drugs, and drugs, there's mental health.
Right.
So, seeing these individuals take a step to changing their life and getting to see them go 90, 120, 160 days sober, complete the drug court program, and come back into society and get a job and have their charges dismissed. That's another rewarding option that, we do in the CSD division.
Right.
So it's been a positive thing, and I'm glad it's finally here in Shenandoah County.
Yeah. If you were gonna give advice to someone about getting in this profession, law enforcement, do you think this would be, I guess it takes a special person in my mind to be in the community services deputy position. And, I think it takes a special person to be in law enforcement, but I also think it takes another special person to be in doing what you're doing. Do you feel as though this is something that someone could get engaged in with as a career, or how do you feel about it? Any advice for somebody who might be looking at a career?
I think you need to have very good patience, a willingness to understand people and what their problems are.
Right.
And each individual client we have, they're all different, and they all have different needs, different issues, and we're learning that. And like I said, I think patience is the most important, because things can't be done. Rome wasn't built in a day.
Right.
So
right. Exactly.
And that's the way you have to treat it.
Right.
So it's a lot of steps in the progress of getting someone help.
Right.
So,
well, I should mention that for people that are watching this, Brian came on when we were starting to get this program stood up, and basically he's kind of building the program. He and now Tyler's there with him, and we're trying to get a couple other staff on board if we can, and we're trying to build something here that Shenandoah County I know they need, and I know there's a need out there, and I think it's something that people of Shenandoah County be proud of. So, Brian, I appreciate everything you guys do, and
thank you.
Look forward to talking with you again. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Well, Tyler, I appreciate everything you're doing for the sheriff's office and the people in Shenandoah County, and look to try to see if we can't find some people to come in and help us out in this area. Yeah,
it's a pleasure to work here, and it's an honor to start this division.
This is Shenandoah County Sheriff Tim Carter, and thank you all for joining us. You can find this podcast and all the other podcasts on my YouTube channel, which is at Timothy Carter. And go ahead and when you go there, go ahead and subscribe so you can get future show notifications. Thanks so much.